we're live.
We're
We
live.
are live. Yes, we are. We are live, Siobhan. We made it.
Woo! All right.
Glad we made it this week. Hi everyone. We had to cancel last week, right? Siobhan, as you can see, beautiful Siobhan Olivero, please.
Yes, we had to cancel last week because I had surgery on my face. So this is actually better than what it was before. I don't know if you can still see that I got all the bruising over here still. So yes, awesome. But doing better. I just have to keep it covered now for about 2 weeks while it's still healing from the skin grafts and everything that they did. But that will be my PSA to everybody to make sure you wear your sunscreen and do the things that your doctors really tell you, because this was a huge tumor that I didn't even know I had because it was under the skin. And I don't know if you guys thought like I thought. I did not know that skin cancer was a tumor. I just thought it was just, stuff on your face. Yes. But it was a tumor that I did get to see under the microscope and have a picture of. So that's
how it was big, you said? I'm sorry, this is just fascinating. How big?
Yeah.
Like for your face, it couldn't have been. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, that's not what we're
it was about the whole, because obviously he stitched it, so it, he pushes everything together and just stitches here, but it was like this whole part right here. It was probably about maybe about I don't know.
Well, oh my goodness.
He had to cut down through both layers of skin, almost down into the fat cells layer, so it went deep too. So
well, I'm glad
to wear your sunscreen so you don't have to do this, but just this is spot number 15 that I have had removed in the past 2 years. It's spot number 9 in the last 6 months. So
wow, really? Okay.
Yeah,
gotta get checked.
But the first one, that's been cancer. So
my God. Well, I'm sorry too. Yeah, but anyway, it's all gonna be healed now, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're doing this today. So here we are. We are both very passionate about the 4 agreements and what it's changed for us in our lives. So Siobhan, do you want to sort of kick off what we're going to chat about today?
I will. So last week we did an introduction to the 4 agreements from the book by Don Miguel Ruiz called The 4 Agreements. And he talks about the 4 agreements that you make with yourself to live a beautiful life, right? If you keep these agreements, then you're going to have an amazing life. And I'm sorry if you hear my dogs going crazy outside my door, but it's because I have a piece of pizza right here and they want it. So they're going crazy. Okay, good. So, and we talked about agreement number 1. I say last week, but I mean last time that we were together, we talked about agreement number 1, which was be impeccable with your word. And we talked about what that was and what that meant and how that affected our lives and kind of what we got from the book. So agreement number 2 in the book is don't take things personally. It is my favorite agreement because it's also the one that I've struggled with the most in my life, right? Of taking things personally, being upset by everything. I know that Gina, this is an important one for you. You've taken things personally, and Gina, you have a wonderful phrase that you use now, which I think you got from the book, which was to be unoffendable.
Yes.
Right, to go along with don't take things personally. So I will give that credit to Gina. And so, the basis of the book and this agreement, once I really got it. And so as we talked about last time, this isn't just a one-time read book, right? This is a book that I keep by my bedside and I read it constantly over and over and over again, because you really have to live the agreements. They need to be in you. They need to be always in front of you. And there's little printouts that you can get and that you can have, you can find them online of just, quick little, synopsis of each agreement. And, I have them posted everywhere. And just so they are constantly in front of you and constantly living them. And so the point of don't take anything personally is that, if you, nothing that anybody says to you or about you is really about you, right? It is about them. It's about something that they struggle with, something that they're going through. And so if you really take that to heart and you know that it's their comments or things that they're saying or things that they're doing are really about them, then you can not take those comments personally. And I love to use something so simple with people when I talk about this and when I coach them on it. And it's something so simple, like if I were to come to you and say, Gina, oh my God, you look so ugly with that really bright green hair. what are you going to do? You're going to laugh. Why? Because it's not true. And you know that it's not true. So you laugh and you don't take it personally because it's something that's not true. And the reason why we take something that somebody says personally is because it's something that we are struggling with. It's because it's something that we see inside of ourselves. And that's why we take it personally. So if you can go and kind of realize those two things, one, whatever they're saying is actually about them. So don't let them offend you and don't take it personally. But two, if you feel yourself getting something offended or feeling something, then it's actually to look internally to yourself and find out what that is in you that is bothering you about how you feel about yourself with that. So Gina, and what is your take on don't take anything personally?
Yes, thank you. Beautifully shared. And I mean, that has definitely been one of the biggest things. I remember learning about it, both here and in Al-Anon when I went there for a little bit. And what I realized was like, oh my goodness, I'm taking things personally all the time. I was offended by, my former husband, just or offended, we easily don't we let's see, how easily can somebody feel left out? Feel how easily do you feel offended when you feel left out of a party or not invited to something? I mean, that is one of the quintessential ways that's like probably happens all the time, right? Like people get upset if they're not part of something they thought they should have been part of. And the truth is, it just, there's no, the point, what it does for you is causes all this drama within you. The other person is not thinking about it. They're not, it's, but you get all caught up in your own drama, or you get upset about what somebody might say, or you might think they think about you when they're probably not thinking about it, right? Like it is just isn't about you. That is about like them, that they didn't invite you to a party or something. It's just, maybe it feels, I know, I get that it feels bad. I understand it feels bad. And I took things like that personally all the freaking time for years. With someone as close to me as my spouse. And sometimes we do it to ourselves. Like we do it to ourselves. We make ourselves crazy, getting caught up in the drama of it. And when you get caught up in that drama of taking something personally, it's literally sucking you down into your own hole. It is such self-sabotage. It is like, it is really sabotaging you from being free and freeing your spirit for who you really are. So, I like you said, when you see something in someone else you don't like, and you start to think, oh, I don't like that. I can't believe she didn't invite me. And I don't like her. And, or something like those thoughts that go through our head. And, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, so let me look in the mirror. I always say, like, look in the mirror. What do I have to, both physically, yes, but very, figuratively, like, what do I need to see about myself?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to see about myself? What do I need to understand? Not even so much see, but to understand about myself that is making me feel this way. And is it helping me? Like, is this helping me? How is this serving me feeling this way? How's it serving me? It's not. If I would get caught up or dwelling, or spend a day dwelling on not being invited to a party or something someone, might have said that hurt me, right? Like, poor me, being victim, like getting out of victim is like one of the most powerful things you can do to free your life, is to not take things personally, become unoffendable. I like to say, be unoffendable, become unoffendable. I used to stand in, when I was going through my divorce from a very difficult situation, I would be like, I'm unoffendable. I'm unoffendable. It became an affirmation for me. I am unoffendable. I am unoffendable. It was like, I would like, before going to court, I would like, I'd make myself feel strong about it. Like, okay, because I'm not going to let anything anyone says get to my soul and crush my spirit anymore. Because it is only hurting me. It's only hurting me. They don't care. And it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if they care or they don't care. It just doesn't matter, because it's our spirit, it's our soul, it's our growth, it's our, mental well-being.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's an important point that you hit on, Gina, is that they don't care, right? They said something to you and may not have even thought about it, or may have said it in passing, or may have said something, but you because that's something that you can let get to you, right? When you're not going to be unoffendable and you're not going to live by not taking things personally. And again, it's something that you're dealing with you. They're living with their life. They're not even thinking twice about this thing that they said to you, and you are spending, days or hours or days or weeks, just in turmoil over this one thing that somebody said to you at one time, and they've moved on and they don't even care, and probably chances are they don't even remember saying it to you, right? Because it was about them and something that they were actually going through at that time, and they don't even remember saying it to you, and we're letting it get to us like that. So that's why really grasping this one was so key for me, and really living it and just ingraining it into my soul of, it's not about me, right? It's what they say is about them. So
even if they're saying something nasty to you, like that's what you have to, because that was sometimes in the beginning you go, but they said it about me, but they said it about me, but that's what the reality is. It's actually something within them that they don't
right
like.
right and that's actually a part that I highlighted in the book to bring out on our talk today, is that he says in the book, even when a situation seems so personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to the agreements that they have in their own minds. Again, it's about them and it's not about you. So, and then the other part that I wanted to hit on, that that he talks about in his book, is he says, it's not important to me what you think about me, and I don't take what you think personally. I don't take it personally when people say you are the best, and I also don't take it personally when they say you are the worst, because I know that when you're happy, you're going to tell me you're an angel, but when you're mad at me, you're going to say you're a devil. So not taking anything personally. And that one for me was key, because when we think about this agreement, we tend to think about it in the negative side, right? Don't take anything anybody said about you, the gossip, the negative, anything they said personally. But that paragraph was so key for me, because it's like, don't even take the positive stuff personally, right? Don't get your need for, my need is significance, right? It's one of my core needs, right? But my need to be edified and uplifted, not to take that personally from somebody else, right? Because it's true, they can turn on me in a second and I can do something that offends them, and now I'm no longer this great thing to them. So, really, this is where, Gina, the thing that you coach on is really knowing how to go within yourself to get to that self-love, that self-need, that self-worth, to edify yourself and deal with those things that you have internally, so that you stay unoffendable from the outside world.
Yes, and yes. Because staying unoffendable, being unoffendable from the outside world will allow you to soar more quickly, more rapidly in the life, to have the life you deserve and the life you want, and have your literal dreams come true. It's definitely been one of the most powerful things. It's very freeing. It's so freeing, because then you can stop and say to yourself, like, if somebody says something, and this is incredible, one of my favorite gifts from Tony Robbins is when he says, change your frustration to fascination and your whole world will change. I think that originally came from Jim Rohn. I believe it's from Jim Rohn that he got it. But so looking at that moment when somebody says something that offends you or that hurts you in that way, and if you start to dwell on it and perpetuate it and you're focusing on it, you're going to get more of it. But if you like allow it to frustrate you, which means you're taking it personally, right? If you allow something to frustrate you, anything to frustrate you, you're taking it personally.
Or right? On the flip side, right? You allow it to elate you and almost inflate your ego a bit, right? Because you're taking that positive side personally, right? Yeah. And inflating you as well. So
yeah. Exactly. And that is a very, very good, definitely a good point for sure, because gosh, where was I going with that? I completely agree with you. And actually I remember my divorce lawyer saying to me, don't trust a word good or bad. Don't trust something that's being said, good or bad. Just don't. because it's like for that reason, it's like you're the devil, no, you're wonderful. No, you're the devil, no, you're wonderful. That was when I was early on in the divorce process or before even. So it's very powerful, and just kind of stay in your lane, like be grateful, like for what and be fascinated. Oh, that's what I was about to say about the being fascinated. When somebody says something, let's like let it be fascinating.
Mhm.
Let it be fascinating instead of frustrating. Even if it's something that's good and like, fascinating too is like, that's wonderful. Thank you. But don't like take it to heart, like, because then let it go to your ego, like, is what, part of what you're saying, I believe, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
if something is fascinating, if you allow something to be fascinating instead of frustrating on the negative side,
Mhm.
if you just allow it to be fascinating, like, why is that happening? Why would somebody do such a thing? Like thinking to yourself, why would someone do such a thing? Huh. Hmm. And then like just letting it go, being fascinated by it instead of like, oh, why did they do that to me? And then perpetuate and you let it suck your whole body down energetically, literally, right? Literally. So that was a really powerful quote for me that I believe took out a lot of that like offendability, like being frustrated by being offended. And taking things personally by just going, oh my God, okay, that's interesting. I wonder why they would do such a thing. Is there anything over here on my end that I need to look at? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, but like just moving on. It
Right.
just, it really dissolved and diluted and um it just like it was so much peace, so much more
So
peaceful.
freeing, so freeing. And it's, to bring in, the unblinded terminology that we use inside of unblinded, right? As we talked about that, how Gina and I met in the program that we're in, it's, not stepping into their frame, right? What they say, what they believe, what they do, that's their frame. And we say that all the time inside of unblinded. I'm not going to step into that frame. I'm not going to step into them and where they are. And I'm going to stay in my frame. And I know my value. I know my worth. I know who I am. So nothing you say can affect me. So as we wrap up, Gina, are there any tips or tricks that you have that you can share with people where if they find themselves stepping into somebody's frame or getting offended or taking things personally, what would you tell them to do to take that step back? And how would you, is there some exercise or something that they could do? Obviously, they can call either of us, right? And we can help them through that. But aside from that, if that's not top of their mind, what would you tell somebody to do to make sure that they don't just struggle with that for hours or days or weeks at a time, that and being offended by what somebody said?
Yeah, and even years, it can really take a real big toll on your life. So, honestly, I'm going to tell you just what I did is to learn this and keep that and learn the book and learn it how to be unoffendable. And I started to stand in the mirror, like in a Wonder Woman pose, and just say, I'm unoffendable. I have to use the affirmations that empowered me, that I actually felt strong in, because it's like you said before, not believing in the things that person said, like, because sometimes when you're in a high conflict situation, whether it's a personal relationship, a business relationship, and you're being barraged with negative remarks or whatever, negative thought, negative words, if you take it on, you start to believe it, then you have no confidence. So once you start to deflect it, right? So deflect it and not engage. So I would envision myself in like a suit of armor, or like a gold, I'm very spiritual. I like to use the golden light wrapped around my body, and that is deflecting off. So a tool I would use, I'll tell you exactly. I would like stand up strong. I would stand up tall and like taking a deep breath. I would imagine literally like a crown of golden healing angelic light coming through my crown, like a vortex coming through my crown of light, golden liquid light. I would breathe it in and like imagine it just soaring through or releasing down my body. And I would just stand there and I would imagine that would go down, and I would ground myself, like imagine this golden rod of this healing liquid light going into the earth, grounding me. And I would stand tall, literally, and just be like, I am unoffendable. I am unoffendable. Nothing anyone says has to do with me. and I'm not going to allow it to take me down.
Mm.
And I would just breathe that in like a couple times. Sometimes I put my hands on my heart, like I've got this. I am so much stronger than this. And doing that over and over mattered for me.
Mm.
It mattered to take me to a place where I finally believed that. Where in the beginning you kind of believe the negative, you have to build yourself up to believe all the positive things about yourself, to really believe all in the goodness and the magnificence within you. Because if you don't build yourself up and start to become unoffendable, you can stay in that rut and stay in that downward spiral if that's a place where you feel you might be right now. And so it's really powerful for me, of course, Unblinded and Sean Callaghan and what we're doing in the world of influence mastery, self-mastery. This is self-mastery right here, guys. Being unoffendable, not taking things personally, being honest with your word and always doing your best is a really important path to self-mastery.
Yeah.
And repeating it every day. Like, don't just do this like Wonder Woman pose. If you choose to do that once, it's not enough.
No, right. Like we said, you've got to live it. It's got to become part of who you are. Yeah. It's a practice, right? That's what it is. It's a practice. It's a daily practice. And, something that I do, I actually have multiple alarms set on my phone, right? So I have an alarm that goes, so I do my morning meditation, and that's part of one of the things that I do in my morning meditation as well is, go into my heart and just, I am grateful for everything. And I start with gratitude. And also, because if you are grateful, you can't have all those other negative emotions, right? Gratitude takes away all those other emotions. But also just, making sure that like my state of mind is in check, right? That there is nothing there. And if there is, I do those things like exactly what you said to get those out. And then I have alarms set throughout the day. I have a 10:30 a.m. alarm that says, where are your thoughts? What are you grateful for? And how are you doing? And if I'm not in a good space, I use it to get me out of it. I have a 12:30 alarm. Where are your thoughts? Where's your gratitude? How are you feeling? So that I can clear anything going on. I have a 3:30 alarm that does the same thing, and then a 7 p.m. alarm. So I 4 times a day remind myself so that I can live it and practice it and be in it. And it's an alarm on my phone that says, where are your thoughts? Where are your feelings? And what are you grateful for? So that I can constantly, if I needed to, go, okay, I need to take 2 minutes, even if it's just 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And, clear these thoughts and do what I need to do. And those things that I do to get myself out of those feelings.
That is really beautiful. And how hard is that? It's not hard at all to do that, to do those alarms. And absolutely, I want to go just back up for a second to the gratitude, because that changed everything too. I mean, I did the gratitude before I began to do this Wonder Woman power, because I learned, I got empowered in the world of Tony Robbins to do that, and like the people. And oh, by the way, surrounding myself with people who are empowering themselves as well, who are empowered and doing these things. If you are wanting to get out of that kind of space and you're surrounding yourself with negative people, it is not going to change. It's not going to change. So it's important to surround yourself with people to find gratitude in like whatever small things you can, and then like do things that are reminders. That repetition is the mother of all skills, and it really makes a difference. We have to get it conditioned into our body so that our body automatically believes it over time. Mm-hmm. And it does start to really shift and believe in the grace and the joy and the abundance that is here for all of us, and the love that is self-love to shift from that place into empowerment and love and confidence. It's really going to make magic happen in your life. It really is going to make magic happen in your life. And thankfully we've both come onto the other side, and it's amazing.
It is amazing. So, and you are amazing, Gina. I love doing this show with you. I love the friendship that we have built. I love your heart. I love your smile. I love everything about you. I just love you. We're going to have another love fest as we always do. So I love you. But if anybody needs to reach you, if they want to go on one of the amazing Real Raw Opens that we host and that we do, and if they just want to reach out to you to get some coaching through this, how would they reach you?
Yes. Thank you, Siobhan. And by the way, just let me say, I love you too. This is why when you get into that space, you find more people that are loving, that are integrous, and that that elevate and celebrate you as you do to them. And that's so important. So thank you. So people can, and I do this incredible, if we do these events called the Real Raw Open through Unblinded, which allows people to connect through the heart with integrity in the space of business and elevate your business and elevate your life that way. So I am the coordinator of that. I'm also a love coach, and I can be reached at 732-371-3674 or on my email, which is gina.ritchie, RICCI, at unblindedmastery.com. And I'm honored to be on this incredible journey with you, Siobhan. So thank you. So where can people find you?
Oh, thank you, Gina. And I'm honored to be on this with you as well. They can reach me right here on Facebook. Obviously, if you're watching it live, you know how to reach me. You can just message me here, or you can reach me at 813-501-7721. So that is where they can reach me as well. And, if you are looking for a way to, as Gina mentioned, one of the fastest and quickest ways to get yourself out of those negative spaces is to surround yourself with different people and more positive people. And if you're looking for that community, this is one of the communities that Gina and I have found and that we're in, of an amazing community of people who are, positive and growing. And we're always looking to be the best people that we can be, and in turn help others become the best that they can be, which is why we're doing this show, to help you become the best that you can be if you're watching. So.
And then that creates the ripple effect that allows that goes out into the world, and it's the next person and the next person and so on and so on and so on, then changes, then they start to get it and they start to get it. It's called influencing with integrity. And yes, it is a very inclusive, incredible, loving, heart-centered group that we're part of, mastery program, people mastering their lives every day because they want to feel better, they want to be better, do better, and make an impact in the world, right?
And living this in integrity and living these agreements, even though I don't know that they all know that they're living the agreements, but they are. So totally. So next week we are going to talk about my second favorite agreement from the 4 agreements. It's so close to tying. Don't take things personally for number 1, but it's just under it, which is don't make assumptions. And man, do I still struggle with this one all the time. And I will tell you, my husband calls me out on it all the time because he hears it and he's like, "You're making an assumption." I'm like, "Oh, yes. Okay." So yes. So that is, tune in next week as we go over don't make assumptions and how not making assumptions will change your life and be able to create an amazing life for yourself.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. It makes a huge impact, a huge difference. So thank you. Thanks, Siobhan. Thanks everyone so much for watching. We appreciate you.
All right. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Next week, we're going to stick with 6, if that's okay.
Beautiful.
That's with my new role in life. So thank you.
All right.